few comments about lab 1 in CSC111, and in this lab I'm asking you to print this output. If you look at this output, there are different names, and they're separated by blank lines. So there's a blank line here, it's hard to highlight, but between these two boxes, and put the boxes around, and you see that the boxes have the same length. Somehow they are proportional to the size of the string that is printed. And so just wanted to talk about different solutions and how to do this. So I have a program here that's supposed to do that, and this is the way that I've organized it. I have my list with different names here, 3. And again, this is something that we really haven't covered much, but here we're playing with Python. And a for loop that says for name in list. So name is just a variable, and it's going to take all the values that are in list. So it's going to become Mickey Mouse, and then these 3 lines will be executed for Mickey Mouse. And then name will become Pluto, and then these 3 lines are going to be executed for Pluto, and then the line is going to be, name is going to be Donald Duck. And these 3 lines are going to be executed for Donald Duck. So let's run it and see what happens when I do so. So let's move this a little closer here. I have my output, and you see that it's not quite complete yet. I have my box, and the string is printed in between, but I need to have a vertical bar at the beginning. So I can easily come here in my program, add a vertical bar. And then remember, this is the plus when you deal with strings is a concatenation. We concatenate 2 strings together. And then I'm going to concatenate this. Oops, I lost my cursor. Plus, my cursor is lost somewhere. Where am I lost? Okay. Plus, all right. And you see I like to put extra spaces. The extra spaces kind of help me figure out what these pluses are, and for me it's a little more readable when I have extra spaces between the different operators. It's not needed. Some programmers use no spaces at all, but it makes it kind of cryptic. So let's run that, see what happens. Alright, I'm almost there, and you see that the bars are kind of not aligned, and it's because I should put a space before the name and after the name. This is very easily done. I can come here. So how can I add a space? I could do this before and after, right? So that's vertical bar concatenated with a space, concatenated with the name, Mickey or Pluto or Donald, concatenated with a space, concatenated with a bar. So if we run this, we get what we want. Except that I still don't have the line in between, but remember, when you program, you go one step at a time. Don't try to solve the whole thing at once. So let's take care of the easy blank line. The blank line is very easy. You can just print nothing, but the print by itself will bring the cursor to the next line. So just this statement will basically print a blank line. You could, if you wanted, print a space which doesn't show up, and it will do the same thing. Similar. This is a little bit more efficient to do this, so that's what I'm going to prefer. However, in programming, what is very important is to get the job done, to get the right output. So if you're not 100% efficient, but you get the right output, and your program is robust, and we'll look at that later, then good on you. This is good. All right, I have my output right here, which is what I want. So this is good. All right, let's take a look at this and see, can I make it a little bit more efficient? So you have 1 string concatenated with 1 string, and these are constant strings. They're always going to be bar and space. So I can simplify that by saying, okay, well, that's just 1 string of 2 characters, vertical bar followed by a space. Same thing here. So I can remove this up to there, and now I have a string here, which is a space and a vertical bar. So it's exactly the same as what I had before. It's a little more efficient, fewer characters to type, and the output should be the same. All right. Now, there are many different ways to do this, and in the lab, you have been very imaginative. I've seen some very interesting solutions. For example, here you need, basically somebody realized that you needed 2 extra dashes. So how can you add 2 extra dashes? Well, you could say, well, it's the whatever is the length of name, that string, and if I add 2 to it, plus 2, then that's going to give me the right number of dashes. So that's another way of doing it. But in this case, the length plus 2 needs to become 1 block, because that needs to multiply the dash. That's a repeat operator. So length plus 2 repeated dashes. And so if I run that, so remember, now I'm modifying only the second line here. And that's another comment that I want to make. When you working on a program, don't try to modify everything. See here, I could try to modify both this line and that one, right? Just I'm going to modify one until it's right. Then when it's right, then I can modify the second one. So it's going to, again, allow me to concentrate on the small part of the program. Okay, it works well. So that line is a little bit more efficient, or if I prefer it to what I had before, then I can take it, copy it, and paste it. Alright, so now the 2 lines are the same. And that should work. So, alright, okay, another solution that I saw that was very interesting is somebody didn't quite know how to make this work. The length plus 2 understood it was length plus 2. So what we had was this, so length of name plus a dash multiplied by the length of XX. Alright, so basically it's realizing that you need 2 dashes, and the way to generate that was to say, okay, let's take a string of 2 characters, find the length of that, which is 2, and repeat the dash twice. And we're going to concatenate that 2 dashes that are going to be repeated by the length of name. So you see that it's long, but again, it gets the job done. And for us, this is good. It works. Not as efficient, but again, right now, the emphasis in this class is get things to work. So I would say this is a good solution, because if I run it, it's going to give me the right box. So okay, we could you know, so when you have something that works and you want to make it a little more efficient, you may want to say, oh, well, instead of length of a string of 2 characters, I know that it's always going to be 2, so you can replace that by 2. So again, make sure that it works. Sure enough, my box is well formatted. And then you look again and you say, well, a dash repeated twice, well, maybe I can be a little more efficient and say it's dash dash, like this. So now my box is a plus concatenated with a dash replicated the length of name plus dash dash plus concatenated with a plus. Again, let's verify that it works. Sure enough, my bottom line is nice in all 3 cases. And then you look at this and you say, oh, I have a string concatenated with another string. I can just make it a simple string like this. Run it. It works. If I like this, I take it, I copy it, and I paste it over this, and now my 2 lines are similar. Always verify that your program works before saying that you're done. That will go when you have to submit programs. Always run it the last time to make sure that your last edit didn't have any typos. And now it works, so my program is done. So I'm going to be happy with this.